Hello, this is James Helm Enterprises Forging Division, and I just wanted to show y'all what is possible to be done with quality brush clearing tools. I started about here, and 6 hours later I cleared all the way back there single-handedly using a couple of machetes and an axe that I made. I used a chainsaw to cut down about 3 of the trees, but that was it. This consisted mostly of mountain cedar. You can see over there, that's the pile of tree trunks that were long and straight enough to save to make like a brush arbor or something out of. Those were all cut by hand today. Also have a lot of what I think is wild persimmon that's kind of whippy. It resists cutting because it bounces so much. These are the implements of destruction I used. Camp axe that I made recently. I broke the handle twice because I overstruck. The first time I shortened the handle down, the second time I just swapped to a machete and kept working. Have this blunt-ended Southeast Asian style chopper that I just finished. Worked pretty well, except that I didn't have the edge quite where it needs to be yet. So spending more time getting it as sharp as it needs would make it work quite a bit better. What I used most was this custom machete that was actually purchased from me by the man who owns the land. And he had an event he had to go to, so he left me the machete and I made good use of it. Both of the machetes have integral socket handles wrapped in hemp cord, sealed with black shellac. So we'll walk along and see just how much of this stuff I whacked in 6 hours. Decent mix of different kind of work for the brush tools. You had hard wood that was about as big around as my forearm. You had thin whippy stuff. So it gave a pretty good workout to the tools I had made in addition to my arms. It's hard for me to estimate how much area this is, but it is quite a bit. From about back there where those trees are, around this big oak tree that was absolutely buried, on up that way to kind of that line of oaks. A lot of these real whippy bushes, they don't like to cut, they like to just bounce on you. A lot of briars, nature's barbed wire. These grow up into the trees in a huge mass and make life kind of challenging when you're clearing brush. So the area that I cleared will be used by the landowners to build an art studio, and also just generally be able to make better use of their property than growing brush. I have a little trail cut over here for their nephews to ride four-wheelers down. So we left a little bit of trees along that way. We left all the oaks, a little bit of elm, a few of the larger wild persimmons. But all the thin stuff that was growing so thickly that you couldn't walk through it, that's been cleared out. So, any of y'all wandering over from Blade Forms, if y'all ever do another custom machete challenge, I want in on it. Thank you very much. Decided to take a look at the ends of these cedar poles that I cut. Give you an idea of how thick this stuff was and how few chops it took to cut through it. Especially down on the smaller end, a lot of those were cut with a single stroke, either by the axe or usually with the longer of the two machetes. So we're saving these aside, and the landowners have plans for them. I'm going to build, I believe, a brush arbor with it. Nice place to sit and sip some lemonade on a hot summer day. Thank you. And from the mouth of the landowner and owner of the custom machete.
Hello, my name is John. This is the machete that James made me. And I have used other machetes. I've used $10 Walmart ones, and I've used the Gerber Gator. And this has been by far the best machete I've ever used. One strike to go through a limb 2 inches, where it took me about 20 strikes with the Gerber Gator. The blade is sharp enough, and it keeps its edge for a great amount of time, and it lets you get a lot of work done, as James actually showed you all the brush he did here with just one machete and how much work. It's almost faster than a chainsaw.
Thank you.
Thank you.